Welcome back to another live. We're going back on Big U, recapping updates on him. Now, as I stated in the last interview, he fired his attorney, which was, and I get that he still haven't received his discovery, and he going to go per se, represent himself, and he requested a speedy trial, and I get that to see who are cooperating against him. So it's really mind-boggling representing yourself and I get it that he don't want to wait a whole year, but with all them charges, he know he gonna get time. And there was I saw somewhere that said he just given up. Well, then I would be looking for a plea deal. Maybe they might offer a plea deal that won't be 600 years or 200 years. You know, he cooperated in his last case when he did those 13 years. So I don't know if he give them some information, maybe he gets some year. I don't know that. I mean, shoot. Other than that, you're gonna be in there till you die. But I found these articles and I found it interesting. And they looked at Big U as a leader to a mentor on the road to redemption. And this was actually written April 28th. And they really had some nice things to say about him. So I'm just going to, from the streets to service, Eugene Big U Henley. Back in the 80s and 90s, his name carried weight in South Central Los Angeles. He was part of the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crips, one of the largest, most well known street gangs in the city. At that time, Big U was not just a member, he was a leader. People listened when he spoke. He was feared, respected, and watched by both friends and law enforcement. But time changes everything. The streets that once knew him as a leader now know him as a man who walked away. Big U is no longer in the gang life. Well, we know that to be, that's not true. Because at 58, he was still out there banging and extorting people and businesses. He still lives in the same neighborhood, but he is doing something very different now. He is working to help young people not get caught up in the life he once lived. After spending 13 years in prison, Big U got out and decided not to return to his old ways. Instead, he wanted to give back. He started focusing on helping at risk youth, trying to steer them away from drugs, gangs, and violence. He helped launch run programs for young people. He worked with schools, police, and community groups. He even started his own organization called Developing Options. The name says what he's trying to do: give young people better options. Through Developing Options, Big U and his team work with kids in South Central. They run sports programs, job training, mentoring, and other activities to help keep kids busy and focused. And I'm sure he got that idea from Nipsey. Big U knows from experience that a lot of gang involvement starts when kids have too much time on their hands and not enough guidance. He tries to fill that gap. He also helps families who are struggling with poverty and violence, trying to bring peace to homes. Some people question whether a former gang leader can really change. Others think he still has ties to the streets. He did and he does, and that's why he locked up now, facing 600 years. But Big U says his actions speak louder than words. He's been out of prison for over 15 years. Well, he locked up now. In that time, he worked with city leaders, school, and the LAPD. He helped calm tensions between rival gangs. Hey y'all, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. He's helped organize peace talks and back to school events. He used the respect he still holds in the streets to talk to young men who might not listen to anyone else. In recent years, Big U has stepped into the entertainment world where he's no longer into that. He helped manage artists, worked in TV, been part of documentaries about gangs and the justice system. He even appeared in shows where he talks about his past life and what led him to change. He wants to share his story so that others don't follow the same path. He says that the street promised a lot, but at the end is death, incarceration. Let me see. Big U has been mentioned many times in this conversation. Some say he expects artists to check in with him when they come to LA. Others say that's not true. Big U himself has spoken out saying that the idea is misunderstood. He says he's not out there threatening people or asking for money. Instead, he says he focuses on community work. He's made it clear that his main goal is helping the community, not controlling it. Well, that's not true. He's had to respond to rumors, social media talk, and even public debates. In some cases, artists have mentioned his name in interviews or songs. Big U said he understands that people have their own views, but he wants to stay focused on the work he's doing now. He says he's not the same person he was 20 or 30 years ago. No, you're not, but you still did the same things. Now the damn dog, the dog been quiet all day, y'all. I swear to God. Hush! That doesn't mean he forgets where he came from. Big U often says he can't ignore his past. He lived it. He survived it, and he wants to use it to help others. He knows that some people see him as a symbol of gang life, but he wants to be a symbol of something else: change, strength, and growth. Today, Big U keeps working with young people, meeting with community leaders, and speaking at his events. He's not looking for fame or attention. He says he just wants to do his part. Well, he locked up in a federal detention facility awaiting court. He believes things can get better if people come together. He wants to be part of that change. Big U's story is not perfect. He made mistakes. He paid the price. But he also made a choice to turn his life around. And now every day he tries to help others do the same. His past may always follow him, but so will his message. It's not too late to change your life. I just found that, and they wrote that because he's been locked up since March, 27, and they wrote this April 28th. I mean, I thought it really is a good article. They support him. I mean, I'm sure he has his supporters. Now, we're going to talk about the checking in, then I'm going to show some videos because I'm trying to make this as short as possible. Big U Rico case. What does it mean to check in? The indictment of Big U didn't just rattle LA's underground, it reopened one of hip hop's most controversial conversations. What does it mean to check in? For years, the idea of checking in has lingered just beneath the surface of rap culture. It is well known code of conduct tied to street respect, survival, and territorial politics, especially in cities like Los Angeles, Houston, New York City, Miami, and Atlanta. Visiting artists are expected to acknowledge the local power structure, whether that's a phone call to the street OG, a meeting with a local crew, or a quiet donation, the message has always been the same. Know where you are and who runs it. I just have a problem with that. I really do. I'm grown. I shouldn't have to check in anybody. It's a free world. You don't own, you might own your house or you paying for your rent, on the house, but you don't own the sidewalk of it. You shouldn't have to check in. You grown. That is crazy to me. That mentality. You go and do your show and leave. I mean, I just think that it's crazy to me. I don't think they do that in Detroit. I don't know. I'm just saying. Now, federal prosecutors say Big U took the cultural currency and turned it into a criminal enterprise. His arrest has amplified a question that's long made people in the industry uncomfortable. Is checking in about mutual respect, or is it just extortion with a street pass? It's extortion. The practice isn't new, and depending on who you ask, it's either a protective gesture or a veiled threat. Some artists, especially those raised in gang heavy cities, see it as a sign of respect. Others view it as outdated. Yeah, that's outdated, unnecessary, or outright predatory. Facts. That's how I view it. That's my opinion. In 2018, Ice-T touched on the topic when he caught up with Revolt, saying he honors the process. I guess each his own. There's been a conversation about checking in. I check in. There's nothing wrong with checking in. Just check in. If you come to LA, check in with me. I'm going to say, don't go to that neighborhood. Don't go there. I might save you a bad decision. He had it. Is if you're fortunate enough to have people, call them and let them know when you're coming through. Facts. When I went to LA, I called my cousin, you know. Every one of these rappers, when they come to LA, they come to my crib and I try to show them a good time. You're supposed to have people. Ice went on to explain that it isn't about being afraid, it's about being smart. Yet there's those who refuse to play the game, which would be me. In the age of Instagram Live and YouTube interviews, rejecting the idea of checking in has become a statement of independence. But sometimes, excuse me, but sometimes one that comes with consequences. The line between cultural protocol and criminal pressure has always been blurry. But with Big U case unfolding, federal authorities are drawing a much sharper line. For the first time, checking in isn't just a talking point on a podcast, it's part of a RICO indictment. Facts. In hip hop, the implications stretch far beyond. The U.S. Attorney's Office has accused Big U of carrying on the godfather of hip hop LA streets. Not only did the enterprise expand its power through violence, fear, and intimidation, the U.S. Attorney General said, but it also used social media platforms, documentaries, podcasts, interviews, and Henley's reputation status as OG to create fame for stroke fear of the Big U enterprise, its members and associates. In Drink Tramp's interview, Schoolboy Q offered one of the most unfiltered takes on the check-in culture. The rapper, who has both street credibility and chart-topping visibility, didn't mince words about the practice. Q admittedly joined the Hoover Crips at 12 years old and wrapped up his time in gang activities not before he released his 2011 album, Setbacks. If there's anyone familiar with street codes, it would be the Collard Greens hitmaker. And he told Drink Champs that checking in is pointless. I agree. Yeah, because everybody be checking in. That's y'all favorite thing to do. Check in with somebody that's gonna rob your stupid ass. Facts. You check in with Big U, they rob you and then give you half your and then have somebody rob you and give your chain back and then you pay 20 grand or something like that. You think that a guy that you don't know in California got your back, the guy that got beef with other hoods, you checking in with that dude? Q's frustration wasn't just about street politics, it's about maturity. In his eyes, a lot of the action around checking in stemmed from insecurity, clout chasing, and a misguided need to validate street ties. Bro, just go to the hotel, get you something to eat, go have some fun where shit is fun. He continued, why do you want to go over there? For what? Facts. His point was about growing out of the performative behavior. Q claimed that he gets check in calls when people travel to LA but doesn't appreciate them. I'm playing video games. My daughter got a soccer game tomorrow, bro. Grow the fuck up. As far as Q is concerned, if you're not from a particular environment, there's no need to prove you belong in it. I get it. Stay connected, all this shit, but sometimes you don't need to be connected. That is a fact. You're not from over here, bro. The rapper also noted he's not traveling to Brooklyn to have someone take him to the most dangerous parts of the city. Facts. I'm here for peace. I don't know why everybody trying to prove something and then they put themselves in these silly ass situations. Now I agree with everything Schoolboy Q said. When news broke of Pop Smoke's murder in Hollywood Hills in 2020, social media immediately lit up with speculation. Had he checked in? Did his location get leaked? Well, he showed his location. Was he targeted? Yeah, he was targeted. That hurt my heart about Pop Smoke. Those questions became more than simple internet noise. They were a reflection of how deeply embedded check in culture is in hip hop's risk calculus, especially in Los Angeles. Pop Smoke was only 20 years old, a Brooklyn drill rapper with rising fame and little time to fully grasp the nuances of LA. Yeah, I like Pop Smoke. He was in town for a performance, staying in a rented mansion hours before he was shot and robbed. He posted photos on Instagram, reportedly accidentally revealing the address. The Los Angeles Police Department used this unfortunate fatal robbery as a cautionary tale about failing to connect with the right people when moving around unfamiliar territory. Now, weeks after Pop Smoke's murder, Blueface made a controversial statement about artists visiting LA. He was accused of telling his peers to check in, but while chatting with Bootleg Kev, he clarified his comments. The way they took what I was saying, like go find your local hood that's affiliated with what you honestly, that's the last thing I'm promoting, he said. If anything, go find you a regular square that's got maybe a gun license or permit or even a security guard or even a friend of a friend that can pull up and provide you with the utensils you need to defend yourself. Well, damn. Wow. He further explained the last thing you should do is connect with gang leaders. I agree. When you in LA, I agree with that. 2 years after Pop Smoke's death, PNB Rock was murdered while at the Chicken and Waffles in South LA. We know that. The Philadelphia was dining with his girlfriend. I'm going to skip through some of this because we know that. Some blame his visibility. Others ask whether local protection could have prevented it. The scores turned heated with LA-based artists defending their silly by outside questions the unspoken rules of visitors. Well, he should have just gave up his chain, and I believe he would have been there because Luce Cannon and Big U was at the rest was at that chicken and waffles as he was there. He would have got his chain back, he just would have had to pay for it. While neither case was officially attributed, let me see, to a lack of checking in, both incidents become wrapped in that narrative. The idea that moving through LA without local ties is dangerous isn't just a myth, it's a belief held widely to shape behavior. Further, in a genre where public movements are documented in real time, the intersection of fame, street politics, and visibility has never been more volatile. Moreover, the death of Takeoff. I'm gonna go through that. I'm not gonna read that. Um, because we know that was a sacrifice. That's what I'm gonna say about that. That definitely was a sacrifice. Takeoff was killed, became a target of allegation that he forces people to check in when visiting H Town. Prince fiercely denied the accusations. Never, we don't have time to do no sucker shit like that, he said. A lot of people from different police departments to all these different people want to insinuate that we're extorting people and they have no check in. Well, I got to say, because when my man, young boy, was living in Houston, and remember, Jay Prince, they broke in his house and they stole, I think, yeah, they stole the chain and got the car keys to his McLaren and another car. And Jay Prince called him and said, "Now this is the daddy." And he called him and said, "Well, I got your we found out what happened to you, young buck. You know how he talked, young buck, and we got your keys." Young boy told him, "Keep them keys. I got a second set." He went off on the. I was shocked that young boy did that to Jay Prince, because Jay Prince supposed to be, he an OG. Most people rear and respond, but young boy went off. He went off, went in. He didn't go get them keys or nothing. I remember that. And I love me some young boy. He my top five. And he gonna be in Detroit in October. And I'm paying $500 to be close to the stage. You heard me? Mm. What began as an unspoken rule of respect has evolved into one of the most divisive concepts in rap culture for some. Checking in remains a necessary part of navigating unfamiliar terrain, a way to honor the invisible lines that still shape the streets. However, in the wake of Big U case, that narrative is being challenged at the highest level. The moment isn't more than one man's indictment. It's about the cost of power in a culture that still lives between worlds. The tension between community and control, protection, and pressure has long existed behind the scenes. Now it's front page news. Artists, executives, and fans alike are being forced to rethink what it means to move through this culture safely, authentically, and without apology. The question isn't just whether checking in should continue, it's whether hip hop is ready to outgrow the systems that have shaped it for decades. Well, that's up to the young people. It's on y'all now. We old people like myself, it's on y'all to change. Make the change. We outdated now. It's on you. Make the change. Systems built on fear, on survival, or making calls just to make it home. And what happens when those calls stop getting answered? That was a good article. That was a good article. Wow. That give you something to think about. Okay, this is the last one, then we're gonna get to some videos. Okay. Now, wow. So as I said in the beginning, some saying that Big U giving up, he fired his attorney, and he going per se to represent himself. And this is what he was saying. He still has not received his discovery to find out the allegations, who's snitching on him. But like I said, in his first case, with 600 and dang, Eddie Boy and dang, what's the other one? read the paperwork, he told 13 years ago. So, like, I'm saying he should probably, I'll be trying to work out a plea deal and going to, because everybody going about to drop a dime on him. He looking at 600 years instead of six. Maybe he can get out in 20. I don't know, but I sure be trying to see what kind of deal I could get, a plea deal. Okay. So feds say LA Gangster spoke of the Orange Man. Remember, he called out to the Orange Man, Donald Trump, to intervene in the case and pardon him. I really don't see Donald Trump doing that. I really don't, but I really don't. Eugene Big U, an accused Crips leader, will remain behind bars and face charges of fraud, robbery, extortion, and running a racketeer conspiracy, a federal judge said. Okay, I'm not going to go because we already know that. We're going to run over that. So they tried to issue a bond. You know that wasn't going to work. As they say, he's a flight risk. Let me see. So they tried to argue, got to give him a chance, and this was before I guess he fired his his attorney. He served 13 years for robbing an undercover sheriff of 33 pounds of cocaine. He pled not guilty. We know all that. I'm not going to read all this because this stuff we already know. But the point of this article is that he's trying to reach out to the Orange Man, Trump, to pardon him. Because he can only pardon federal cases. Um, Let me see what else they got in this one. Because we're about to get to the video. Oh, now they saying even in his short time in custody, he's up to his old tricks, trying to use those same celebrities for personal gain. That's right. They said he was making calls to celebrities, asking for money, asking for them to pay for attorney, and apparently trying to get some goons after Wack. Now that's what they saying. That's what I read. I ain't in LA. I'm in Detroit. He has even suggested that he can manipulate the President of the United States into intervening in the case and dropping the charges, even as he simultaneous, simultaneously refers to the President as the Orange Man. Well, calling Trump the Orange Man ain't is not going to be helpful for you. Okay? This court should not be fooled by the good deeds defendant promises to accomplish if only he could close the detention doors behind him. This is where victim one comes in. That's in my title, Dale. He's accused of the robbery of an unlicensed LA marijuana dispensary that has stopped making extortion payments and of fraudulently attaining funding from the GRID program. Let me see. One of the witnesses to some of his crimes actually asked the government when approached, if you can't even arrest him, how can you promise to keep me safe? This was said from Dale. Okay, so now we can go ahead and get to these videos because we got about, okay, cool. Maybe I can end exposing the snitches. This video. Who is this by?
Rap News Street Politics.
Oh, Rap Street News. I like him.
and we back.
I like it.
And this is not witness one that was surrounding the alleged murder situation in Nevada. The witness that was working as a security guard in the studio. This is the man that was getting extorted, so to speak. The one that was robbed by Luce and the club promoter who set up the whole situation with Big U and Deja Vu, where it was said that Big U had shook down 30 racks out that situation. But the key thing, man, is who is Dale Morrison? Now, he's not only a rat. He's actually a club promoter, and I would say somewhat of an entrepreneur throughout the city. And the next question one may ask is, why Dale Morrison? Why was he being shook down? It seems like this dude is one of them guys playing all sides. Now, the key thing is Dale Morrison has been in the mix around all these dudes for a long time. Like I said, he's a club promoter. And anybody know these club promoters? They're the ultimate people person. But especially when you promoting black businesses, black clubs, black parties, you're going to end up intertwining with the hood at some point, especially in LA. So we've seen Dale Morrison, not only with Big U, we've seen him with Nipsey, we've seen him with Gilly the Kid, Joe Moses. Like I said, this dude has been around everybody in the city. And we got to put this out.
Oh my God.
So nobody else falls into the games that this dude is playing. Now, the paperwork has painted him out to be a victim. And on the contrary, painted Big U to just be somebody that got him in a headlock. But Dale Morrison is actually his own game in these streets, man. So the key thing right now is Morrison is under his own federal indictment, which has nothing to do with any of these dudes in this indictment. With this Big U rolling 66.
Sorry, y'all.
This dude had his feet in the streets, a full participant in the life of criminality. He's not just some weed shop owner that's trying to make a living and ends meet by playing it fair. This is the misconception of this whole situation. Now, the indictment that he's allegedly the main defendant on is a conspiracy with the intent to possess narcotics. Also possession with
y'all.
the intent to distribute narcotics. And the main key thing is the feds are alleging that Dale Morrison is using businesses in LA as fronts, including the same business that Big U was allegedly shaking down. So we've seen Morrison with multiple different businesses. MLB Investments and Holdings, M4 Morrison Media Marketing and Management, DMO 20 Consultants, LLC, Everybody Eats, which is also synonymous with the Everybody Eats Genetics cannabis business, which he's affiliated with. Now, at the time when he was allegedly participating in the conspiracy, some of these businesses were operating off some high rises off Fed. Now, as of today, he's changed the addresses to these businesses. But in 2020, it's alleged that he was working with 4 other co-conspirators by the names of Jordan Jackson, Keyshawn Brandon, Brittany Duff, and Deja Purifoy. Now, everybody except for Keyshawn Brandon was operating in Ohio. Keyshawn Brandon, aka Keys, is said to be Morrison's bodyguard, or security, so to speak, that protects his criminal endeavors. And it said that on July 25th, 2020, Keys was chaperoning around 7,000 grams of meth, approximately 2,000 grams of powder, and around 5,300 grams of weed from LA to Ohio, which is when they got pulled over. And somehow, some way, it comes out that this shipment came from Dale Morrison. Now, mind you, this is July 2020. In the Big U indictment, the feds said they didn't start watching Big U until February 2021, after the alleged murder committed by Big U in Nevada. But again, they was already watching the 6-0s in 2020, and they were able to track 8 USPS packages sent from Ohio to different addresses in LA, some in the 40s, a business in the Mansfields, and of course, a Hattie in the 6-0s, where it said that around 150 racks that came from Ohio and touched down to LA, which the feds are alleging is proceeds that Morrison was receiving in this drug conspiracy. Now, 6 days after they got caught in that car, Morrison's house was hit July 31st, 2020, where it said this dude also had a bunch of weapons. But he wasn't fully taken in on this indictment until a year later, April 28th, 2021. But the Big U document alleges that he was a known extortion target since the beginning of their investigation on Big U. So as we see here in this Big U paperwork, it states victim 1 has a criminal history that includes arrest for narcotics conspiracy and distribution in violation of Title 21, Section 846, respectively, for which he is pending sentencing. It's still an open fed case. He hasn't been sentenced. Why? Because he's using his telling on Big U in this indictment, in which it says that victim 1 will likely receive cooperation credit based on this case in his unrelated pending drug case from the United States Attorney's Office in the Southern District of Ohio. So this information right here.
Wow. Wow. That's why he cooperating for that case. Okay, now we're going to deal with the checking in. I can't believe that dog did that.
Angeles, where gang culture
this is Moxie approved.
One name looms large. Eugene, Big U, and a feared and respected street general. Big U's influence extended from the block to the music industry, dictating who could move safely and who had to pay. But if you don't check it in, oh well. Let's go check. For years, feds claim he leveraged his reputation to navigate hip-hop's elite, brokering deals, offering protection, and controlling careers, all under the guise of being a peacemaker. To some, he was a mentor, while others portrayed him as a predator.
He jumped on me while I was pregnant, beat me up.
Enforcing a harsh reality, checking in wasn't an option. It was a necessity. From enforcer to industry power player and the accusations that haunt him.
You telling me that it's coincidental that Big U just so happened to be sitting in that Roscoe's when PFB Wack got murdered?
Facts.
The suspect then shot the victim multiple times.
This is the story of power, fear, and control, not only in the streets, but hip-hop as well. Did Big U guide artists to success, or was he the very force they needed to escape?
And I don't think nobody is safe.
Known for taking fades and holding ground, particularly at a popular gang hangout, World on Wheels, the 6'5", over 200-pound martial artist was a freak of nature that loved to brag about never losing a fair one.
I've been doing martial arts since I was 9 years old. I've been fighting in the streets. That's why you always heard about me smashing things at World on Wheels. No losses.
His reputation preceded him.
I mean, they say I had a loss, but I know I had a loss when I was 15 against 1. And they called the police, and I went to jail. I don't know nobody go to jail if they was the loser.
Many of you were first introduced to Big U's character and street representation unknowingly. In the movie Friday, the character Debo was created and inspired by Big U's hood legacy.
I was tripping, man. You want me to ask for my bike back? You know I wouldn't trip. I told you, I pulled that from Big U. I used him as my background of how I wanted this character to be perceived. Because the whole thing about how bad this guy was.
Yes, I did inspire the Devo character. Yes.
When the movie was in theaters, Eugene Henley was in the middle of serving a state sentence on robbery charges. When he was released back into the streets, he would proceed to reestablish his mark in Los Angeles in numerous ways.
Henley, better known as Big U, founded developing options to create viable solutions.
Is that Creflo Dollar?
Believes that
That's
street
Creflo
life is
Dollar.
the only life they can have.
Wow.
Please help me welcome Big U to your world.
Developing Options was his charity organization dedicated to the rehabilitation of gang members in a positive manner of attempting to give the youth other options than gangbanging.
Developing Options was a birth child of mine, and what we want to do was reach the youth and impact gang violence. My whole sole purpose was to impact the gang violence in LA. what can I do, and how can I help to stop our kids from killing each other? So when I was in prison, I used to hear about my partners doing sports programs, and then I was trying to figure out what was lacking. So I had an idea with what the city was already trying to implement in the gang program to say that let me come home and bring the different gangs that's warring with each other together to where they have to work in the same organization.
Outside of that, he formed a record label, Unique Music, where he would manage and sign artists attempting to use his street prowess to penetrate the music industry. He would begin to make connections with out-of-town mainstream artists where he would allegedly provide protection for these artists who really couldn't remain relevant in the industry without visiting and doing business in the Los Angeles area. But that came with a price.
We shouting out to my boy, this Big U and Corrupt on the Set of Corrupt video. StreetGangs.com, you know we love you.
Some of the artists he would connect with early were Corrupt, all the way to the likes of T.I. These connections were not hard to establish because all these artists had to do is ask any gang member from the Los Angeles area. It could be said that there's no way you could be considered a relevant gang member in LA without knowing who Big U was. From there, stories will begin to trickle out online where his reputation would become known. One major moment is when Henley was jumped by Samoan security guards who ignorantly mishandled Henley, not knowing they were dealing with one of the most well-known violent gangsters to ever run the streets of LA.
Look at the more you say so. Don't touch him there. He's there. All that pumping don't touch me. Are you trigger happy too? You trigger happy?
This situation spiraled to where a standoff would occur between gang members and LAPD caught on camera. It got so out of control that they begged Big U to inform the crowd that the police were not the ones that caused injury.
Who did that to you? Who did
This situation with the club, who employed these security guards to issue out a payment worth more than 6 figures for the situation to go away.
Wow.
200-300 dudes.
Wow.
And the dudes from every set in LA really stood up because it's from every set. There was a lot of violence against just clubs and security against clubs, and people respectful for 5 people that died. So we ended up shutting Hollywood down. We had to meet with the powers that be. You know, we had sat down with the owners of the Supper Club. They wrote me a check for over $200,000.
One well-known relationship he had was with one who he would use his connections with to secure a deal for. One from his own Crip card, Nipsey Hussle. The two had a very polarizing story that would haunt him even to this day.
Facts.
The story will be filled with misunderstandings and gang politics where the two would have frictions over issues as small as studio equipment and family disputes, to the point where they both famously participated in a Thunderdome, which is an in-house disagreement that would be settled with two factions squaring off in a fight that ended.
Man, this is good, but we ain't gonna go.
Nipsey, leading to Nipsey's brother, Black Sam, ending the confrontation by shooting in the air. Officers patrolling the area would hear these shots and respond, leading to Black Sam getting arrested on the spot. Some would say this whole deal got out of hand after Nipsey dropped a diss song about Henley called You Don't Have a Clue.
I'm busy getting rich, thinking I'm gonna stop for you. I built this on my own, and everybody know it's true. The niggas act like they supposed to have control of what I do, but they don't got a clue.
Me and Nipsey had a fallout. He had my equipment, and I wanted to use my equipment.
I'm gonna go past that.
Would hold a peace walk in an attempt to unite LA gangs. He would.
Okay, we're gonna end that there. What's the next one? Hold on, y'all. Lord, let's talk about Luce Cannon. Lord have mercy. He getting time.
What's up? Yeah, this is hood
This
talk.
is hood talk. I like him.
Man. Yo, we had a good system, and I done played on both sides. just because you telling, they not releasing you.
Facts.
I don't know what kind of information he's being provided with, but the government, the federal government, they play however they want.
Facts.
But they're running loops around this dude. He means to tell me that he's involved in a 10-man indictment, and only 2 of them are still left in jail. They let the other 8 go. I could tell you for a fact that's not how the feds work. Especially with no RICO case, with no murders involved, with human trafficking. Like, they're not going to let not one of y'all out of there. It doesn't matter.
Well, that's a lie. Everybody got released except for Big U, Luce Cannon, and Bricc, baby. They still locked up. So, you know what? Based on what he just said, I'm about to let that one go. Because that is not true. They let him go. But he makes some good points a lot of times. Oh, got rid of that. Hold on, y'all. Let me find this next one. This will Wack 100, Lord have mercy. Oh, this Compton Rock. Oh, I love him. Man, I love Compton Rock.
Wife Woody, then I think it was only right to give somebody a pass. It's nothing tough about no situation like that. Man, I'm gonna just say this. Man. This paperwork that we read, man, this stuff got a lot of crazy stuff in it. It's a lot of people names that's involved in this stuff, man. And you know what I'm saying? But like I said, he had his wife and his kids with him. Do y'all think this would have went down? Especially after all the disrespect that Wack been doing over the years towards Big U. Do y'all think that he cared about that?
No.
Let's see what's going on. Oh, shit. Now, just to be fair, because Wack's my man. Wack gave his account.
Okay, we ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna let this one go. I can't stand DJ Academics. I cannot believe it be so quiet. Then when I go live, all hell break out. I don't understand. I really don't. Oh, now this is what Luce Cannon missed to Robin Dale.
Easy, man. You already know it's not about the
Oh,
setback.
I love him.
It's
This is
about
S
get back.
Big GB.
You know, I would appreciate
Let me
everyone
see if I can get to the point.
Yeah, I know, but you know, when you got wrapped up in that shit, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was bad because of them was big you, but then they ultimately, they got me. You know what I'm saying?
That's Luce Cannon talking.
You know what I'm saying? You know, oh shit, yeah, okay. You said you got something going. There's always gonna be love. But nigga, you know what I mean, girl. You know what I'm saying? I know, man. Shit don't make sense to me no more, bro. You know that, dealing with the police, bro. And nigga, I don't think nobody can deny that, because that's how he, see, that's why the white never respected Nipsey. His white knew shit about Nipsey that wasn't respectable. And he only know that because of us. I watch that shit. It might be true. You know what I'm saying? I got recorded, and Nipsey talking to the police, and they trying to use it against him, maybe. It might be true, but shit.
Let me go past this because that call ain't clear.
Straight up. AJ, appreciate the super chat. I never heard a Fed County or prison call that sound like Luce's. They got him somewhere special, I guess. You hear me? Because this shit is crazy. And I want y'all to listen to this shit again, y'all. Facts. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Share this live. Everybody,
I watch his stuff every day.
Been working. And I told y'all something wasn't right. They was trying to get me in they way. They seen me calling, delivering this message, putting it out there to the people. They try to call in to your boy Deezy and pull me into their bullshit, but it didn't work at all. Check this shit out, y'all.
This is Dale. This nigga big you up.
Hit that like button.
October 14, 15.
Hit that like button.
Let me just say this, that Bricc Baby did say the other day that Luce Cannon tell him, and that now, what we know, they've been separated, because Luce Cannon now over there with Lil Durk. That's where he at. Bricc Baby somewhere else, but Bricc Baby said he been telling.
Talk news, we on fire.
This is Hood Talk News.
Yo,
Let me
what's
see.
good? He's involved in some type of way for the public eye, so they won't call him Rat 100. Come on, man.
And you were really kind of screaming at it.
Because y'all dumb.
See, right there.
You're a dummy too. I gotta call you a dummy.
Okay, but
Because we're gonna ban all your friends is locked up for being dumb. You can't call nobody dumb. You so dumb. You come on here talking about, and we're gonna get into that y'all was playing around, and that's how big. Come on, man. You just saying you got Big U basically indicted for y'all playing around. Come on, man.
I'm gonna show you.
But starting with the name calling makes you,
But you did good.
you look more guilty.
No, I'm gonna show you why. Oscar De La Hoya.
Mhm.
If you listen to the conversation, I clearly state this is what the attorneys worked out.
Mhm.
See, the minute the attorneys are involved, right? This is not extortion.
Yeah, man. You had to work out the deal with the attorney after he extorted them. Look, you better get the attorney and then write it up, and we can have it in paper. You hear me? I want it in paper, so the police come, it's in paper. But you can, all that is extortion, man. Come on, Wack, you ain't making no sense. You trying to clean up this dude because you was involved, sitting back and playing the game. That's what I don't like about these dudes. They be down until the feds come. Then they trying to backpedal. You was down, bro. You was all on the internet. There's videos all over of you with Big U talking about the people y'all extorted. So what are you talking about, man? You was doing this stuff with him, Wack. Y'all was calling out everybody. This wasn't no game, man. Come on, man. And then in the news report, I mean in the paperwork or whatever, they say they got Shaq and AB. Don't that mean Shaq probably talking? I don't know, man. Can they y'all let me know? Can they put that in the reports of he started Shaq and AB without Shaq and AB saying anything? Yep. Come on, man. I thought the Fed know what they be doing now. They ain't coming up no hearsay. Y'all let me know.
That's a fact.
This is a business.
That's
deal.
a fact.
Oscar then talked about it openly on Club Shay Shay.
Mhm.
Right? So the minute you get attorneys involved, see if you have something, right? That's yours. It's yours. And you got the consent to have it.
Man, attorneys as crooked as you want them to be. You know how many lawyers, man, when I done went in the courtroom, I mean, before I walk in the courtroom with my lawyers, my paid lawyers, you know what I'm saying? When I was going to court.
Let me
first
go
thing they
past this part.
Yeah, but you was involved. You was right with it. You brought him into these places to do this stuff. Everybody telling you this dude ain't no good, and they think you don't know this. The reason you brought him in, because you know he ain't no good.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all can run those no good schemes on everybody. And you had, listen, Wack already telling y'all, Big, you had no connection in the industry.
So for Big U to be shaking down celebrity and artists, guess who he had to go through? Bingo, you got it right. That dude sitting right there in front of you.
I agree.
Somebody else's name like it was.
I agree.
Because they dealt with him when they had to.
Right.
I was a dude that went and got to know his family.
Trying to be a real friend.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I go to his crib, he come to my crib, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to know his family, and, you know, whatever I could do, I would show up, certain funerals and things, you know what I'm saying? People,
That way he messed up, he let Wack come to his house. That dog got kicked out there.
All right, man, like Sam.
Man, what happened to all the houses Big U said he had, man? Big U got that one house in the hood, man. Come on,
man.
Man.
Because Wack is working with them people. I believe that. I don't think I'm going to play this. Oh, it's gone anyway. Cool. What is this?
Sweetie! It's over with.
To think that somebody was stealing a bunch of toys, stealing Christmas, that's kind of crazy.
This is security video showing the moment early this morning when Eugene Henley says someone stole a U-Haul parked in front of his Windsor Park home. It was filled with toys worth nearly $40,000.
Boy, you is a scumbag. You gotta stop!
All of it paid for by the Henley family, their son, Chargers linebacker Deion Henley, the team, and private donations.
But then y'all bring back the toys in another truck, right? Yeah, we brought back the toys in the truck and all that shit, brother.
That was Luce Cannon talking about Big U staging a fake robbery of Christmas presents to get money.
Right as he was telling us about the theft, trucks of toys started arriving.
Damn near Christmas miracle. You know what I'm saying? Here in South Central.
Word had spread and donations to buy new toys added up. City workers and the local councilman's office helped organize things, and the LA County Fire Department, which runs its own toy drive, pitched in load after load.
This is a great save. This is a great save by the community because we didn't have no toys.
And you see Big U talking, and it sounds kind of unbelievable until you read that 107-page report indictment document where Big U is on the phone shaking down guys for $500 or $1,000, accepting marked money from this dispensary he was allegedly extorting.
Now he been ducking our calls and shit. So what did he do with the toys eventually? Did he have niggas? I think he had a money back. They take everything back. We didn't do that one. Because bring the truck back to that. They brought everything back.
That's dirty.
The truck back where? Not the U-Haul truck. They got the other truck and they brought them back. With the so you had them smash the U-Haul. Take it somewhere. He get the money. Yeah, raise the money. Go ahead, bro. He had to ditch the U-Haul, and then we burned back in the different trunk with the toys and all that shit. And my people were sending me cash donations. Yeah.
That's messed up.
To break y'all off some of the money. Yeah.
That's messed up.
The idea that he might want to pick up a quick 10 or 1,000 or something.
That's dirty. Fake your own robbery. This part too, because I want to get past this part. Let me see.
I mean, you made it. You know what I mean? Keep it 100. What you need to do is be careful who you stepping on your way up.
This nigga Big U. I told Tasha K everything this man did to me. Jumped on me while I was pregnant. Beat me. Locked me in a...
Now that it's pretty apparent that quite a few of the what we thought to be gossip or
this Al Prophet
attention on the internet in terms of talking about death of Nipsey Hussle, of robbing this one and that one, all these Big U related sort of activities, stories told by Wack 100, Cowboy, Luce Cannon, everybody. Now that we know, well, probably a lot of it is true. These guys really were on the internet telling true stories with not that much attempt to be covert or disguise anything.
The nigga name was Dahmer. That's the nigga name. Dahmer came over there to get out with Nip. Cuz you was my nigga, I go to jail. Come to find out you telling my baby mama, don't answer my phone calls, don't send me nothing that you and her, all this shit. You start fucking a bitch sick, so we gotta get out. Dahmer jump out. Nipsey didn't want to fade. Ghost. He didn't want to get out with Dahmer. Boy, Eddie Boy was telling nigga I'd get out with him. They lock up. Boom, 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 boom. Eddie Boy whooped Dahmer ass. Knock his tooth out, all that. Dahmer come back smoking.
Starting to take a look back at really what the circumstances of Nipsey's homicide were. And the woman that was driving Eric Holder around, she was a Uber driver they had met not too long before and were sort of dating or whatever. The woman, of course, whose statement to the police was used in court and this videotape.
Like trying to get to me, like to take the picture or whatever, like trying to wait till he stopped talking.
You know why he wouldn't want to talk to him?
Because I guess the way he was just like, cuz, hey, you ever snitched on something? This, cuz that.
That's what Nipsey was saying?
That's what Eric was saying. Nipsey wasn't like saying nothing. He was just like, nah, nah, like that,
Did it sound like Eric was accusing him of snitching?
To me, it sounded like kind of like he was trying to be a little messy.
So that's her talking about not that Nipsey accused Eric Holder of being a snitch, but that Eric Holder was asking Nipsey if he had given some information on something. And Wack 100.
This the first I ever heard of that.
A guy named Dahmer.
Wow, this the first I ever heard.
Nipsey hated on him with his baby mama, girlfriend, whatever. While Dahmer was in jail, he gets out, jumps out on Nipsey, wants to fight him. Nipsey doesn't want to fight for whatever reason. And a guy named Eddie Boy, which I would admit is not the same Eddie Boy that 600 said Big U snitched on because he's still alive. But this other Eddie Boy, probably little Eddie Boy or whatever, fights the Dahmer guy and beats him up. Dahmer comes back, knocks Eddie Boy down, is incarcerated for it, or is being, and he ends up getting incarcerated for it. Can somebody tell us, did this really happen? Is there a guy Dahmer from the 60s? Is this true? That's serving time now for killing somebody named Eddie Boy.
Boy, Eddie Boy was telling nigga I'd get out with him. They lock up. Boom, 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 boom. Eddie Boy whooped Dahmer ass. Knock his tooth out, all that. Dahmer come back smoking. Right? Killing. Behind him. Right? Dahmer go to jail for the body. They questioning Nipsey. And Nipsey said, somebody do something to me or something, I come up dead. Dahmer did it. Or they snatched Dahmer. Big U had that recorded. And used that to make the nigga move. That's when you seen all the victory lap shit. He fucking with him. Nigga, Nipsey was playing his hand. Somebody was gonna go one way or another.
Wow. And we're not gonna get no more into that. Wow. That's the first I seen of that. I think that's the last one because I'm about to come back. Oh, I might. Yep. That's where we're gonna end that there. We'll be back with some more Big U stuff. Like, share, subscribe. I know in the middle of the video, the dog started barking. My son at the door with the Taco Bell. And I'm just like, wow. Because the house is quiet until I go live. The animals act crazy. Everybody act crazy. But anyway, I appreciate my new subscriber. Thank y'all so much. I'm coming back with something serious. But after I do this union stuff, because I have to tackle serious issues too, because I see some people unsubscribe because they don't like my serious stuff, but I try to keep it entertaining as well. But then I'm coming back with King Von. I love Von. Von would have been bigger than dirt. Muwap, he locked up, and Muna Duke fine behind. Oh, Muna Duke. And they laid him to rest and Youngin yesterday. I'm going to come back to that, and then I'm going to get into this migrant stuff. But thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Hit that like button for me. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. All right, I'll be right back because I'm talking about the end of unions under Trump.